Hello, guys. Happy to see you on our webinar today. My name is Vlad, and today I will be speaking about how to save 200K or even more on a Jumpstart SaaS platform development. We will give a bit of time for the people to join if anyone is running late. By the way, let me know if you hear me well, if you see me well. Appreciate your plus in the chat or your active contribution to the chat. The best questions our moderators will pick up, and I will try to answer them, or during the presentation, or at the end of the presentation. Depends on the question, depends on the topic I'm speaking about, and so forth, so on. So I'll start with a story, actually a good one, how we came up to this Jumpstart solution, how it was created, and it happened last year, and how the Jumpstart solution started. So last year during the Christmas time, my engineering teams were away, and I had a friend of mine who lived in the US, who is the military veteran, former Navy officer with the disability. We just having calls from time to time. We've met on the business meeting before, when he was working on one of his solution, and he had an idea how to start his own product development, how to start his own startup. He had only himself and the presentation. So basically, everything that most of the entrepreneurs have when you are trying to get to the pre-seed round. And the good story here is that he got his first financing out there. So he's right now financed, and he got 250K on his pre-seed round. And he did that because he's a great guy. He's the officer with the disability, former vet, right now a veteran. And basically, I'm super happy for him. How it happened, what we did. So first, I helped him to scrape the target audience that will be the final consumer of his product. It was about 20,000 emails. Yeah, but get it scraped from the phone books with the different mechanism. And okay, please everyone reload the page if video does not appear. Okay, this is important. If video does not appear, reload the page, and it should be there. Okay, cool. Probably voice was there, but video was not. So, and we're not still showing the presentation. I'm still telling the story, so audio should work just fine. So what happened next? We get a set of client interviews, really big one. We got our calendar fully booked for upcoming month. I never seen things like that. When you spray and pray email campaign and your calendar fully booked. So we did a great job out there. We identified what the features that needs to be done. We immediately deployed our Jumpstart solution, created the best feature that possible and easiest implementing. So basically the most low-hanging fruit. And with that solution, with the idea, and with the feedback of the client interviews, we submitted on this pre-seed round, and he got it. The veteran with a disability in the United States got his funding, which is great, and basically starting his entrepreneur journey on his own, which is a huge success from my perspective. Okay, so I hope everyone's in. We have people in the chat. We have a confirmation that everything great, and let's basically jump into the presentation and check it out. So what needs to be done to just get started? All right. So to whom this webinar is for? So maximum value will be the founders who are working on their startups right now. It can be any size of the startup. Earlier the better. CEO and CTO, product owners, delivery managers, and project managers can also benefit from this case, as it directly impact the work that they do, and they should be definitely aware of the solution from the market right now and making sure that they are not reinventing the wheels as we develop our features, roadmap, and so forth, so on. So the goal of the webinar is to make sure that we are successful, we are in the business, we understand the current trends, we understand what are the latest technologies that are helping ourselves and our clients be successful in the market with the AI emerging. So I hope everyone realizes that without an AI, it's very hard to be competitive. So let's try together to understand what are the crucial milestones and steps required to be there. Okay, so agenda. We will have a couple of good stories, like the one that I started with. I will reference to that story as well because it has a couple of very important nuances that help us understand how to build really successful good products. And let's start from the issues that startups mostly have that I've seen from the latest 3 years working extensively with startups in the Europe and in the United States. So the most issues really happens when the startups try to build features or to design features or to plan features with isolation from the end users. So sooner you get end users to your product is better. It can be friends and family. It can be selected subset of the users, but sooner the users are in your application, the better for you. Absolutely. This is not even a negotiation. You need to have users as close to your product as possible, because without it, the gap becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and basically burning the cash to unfortunately no good. You need to make sure that you utilize right tools, right practices, not over implemented and no over complicating the tools and processes that you are using. So if you have a team of 10 engineers, you do not need to scale the Java framework, for instance, right? Because it works and needs to be implemented when you have 100 plus engineers, right? And you need to make sure that all the goals that you are pursuing are meaningful and will be paid afterwards. So whenever you try to design a feature or a milestone or a roadmap plan for your customers, you need to take into the account what is the benefit will it give to your budget, because your development team spend the budget and the feature you're trying to develop will increase your budget or it will not. And you always need to measure what is the difference, how much money it takes to develop a feature from start to production, and how much money on the distance this feature will give you. So those are the things you need to actively track, be on top of, and make sure that you are addressing them from the day one. Otherwise, it's very hard to it's very hard to be successful in the nowadays market. Okay, so let's jump to story. So story of one real SaaS startup from zero to hero, which started basically last year and currently in the production. A very good story of how you would structure and set your goals, your milestones, your public presentation, your tech team, your architecture, and make sure that it all combined together, bringing you closer to the goal, to the final goal of production, of the users, of getting profitability and getting the market share. It is a real estate client. It is based in Germany, and the goal was to disrupt the very solid, very old market of asset and portfolio managers in the Germany, which is very hard job, to be honest, because the market is old. It has its own traditions. It has its own legacy. It's very hard to break into. And even that market, like real estate in Germany, understands that it needs to go forward. It needs to be competitive. It needs to utilize AI solution. Otherwise, the clients who uh, won't jump in into the application, into the feature list that provided by these clients will be away, will be behind, and unfortunately, for some of them, it is no return path, right? So you need to make sure that the application you are develop gives this flavor, gives this understanding to yourself, to the clients, to everyone on the market. So how it started? It started from the ground up. We've set up the architecture that is required for the application scale. We made sure that we do the proper client interviews. We get the set of requirements required for the enterprise users. And since it is a B2B market, it's very easy to understand your target audience, right? You know the companies, you know who are the users who will be with you in this journey. It's very easy to create a friend and family atmosphere and friend and family group that will be with the application development from start till the end, and make sure that we are not reinventing the wheels there. We've started with the base app, started with the AI assistant, which helps companies understand their data they are working with, which is the most important. So the data is a baseline. Once you get the data into the system, you know what you will be working for. And AI basically is the tool, and with the wrong tool usage, garbage in, garbage out. And sometimes the client data is garbage, unfortunately, and it sometimes need to be cleared. It needs to be processed. It needs to be prepared. Because AI is not sometimes a magic stick. It is to a degree, but sometimes it's really not. So with the solution that we've developed for more than 6 months, we've presented it on the conference and on the how to say that, on the conference that had the rankings. That they tried to rank startups from number 1 to number, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, so forth, so on, based on their domains. And our application got ranked number 1 in portfolio and asset management, which was a huge success. It was presented in the October, and it really worked like a charm. So we got recognition, we got more attention out from the group of friends and family users. We scaled up to the broader market in the Germany, and at the end of the year, this startup got very successful. Huge opportunity to huge request from the clients is which fallen into the product backlog, that the client needs to process 500 documents per per run. So I want to upload 500 documents. I want your application to process it. And the monitoring model of this application is based on the documents you process. So you can imagine how much money they got. And to give you a bit of a flavor, they 5 times multiplied all their spendings on the application development. And on the December 2025, it's not 2025, it's a mistake, 2024, it went into the production, and right now is in the production and bringing the value to clients, which is great, to be honest. Let me speak a bit about me. So I'm originally from Ukraine. Now we are everywhere in the Europe. The majority of us are located in the Estonia, Poland, Spain, Portugal, and the United States. Obviously, we still have engineers that are quite successful in the Ukraine. Whenever it works for you, I highly encourage you to allow staffing in the Ukraine, because those individuals are really very, very competitive. And right now they're showing the enormous dedication, enormous performance, enormous attitude, which helps startups bring forward. For over 3 years, we've reached out to our clients and calculated that we generated more than 10 million in revenue for them, which is absolutely astonishing number. I'm so proud of it. And speaking about me, I have a project delivery experience in the very big enterprises, like Barclays Capital, if you seem too big to fail. So I've been there when we worked with the securitized products market and made sure that it is there. The ex-Lehman part. I've been there in the DHL with the worldwide rollout, where we developed the solution and rolled it out worldwide, and it worked. You can imagine the complication of the system that needs to understand and perform within the regulation of each individual country along the world. It is a huge solution. The rollout was very hard. I had a sleepless night, but we made sure that it is right now out there in the market. You receive your shipments. It works like a charm. And basically everyone was very happy about it. I've been there in the Canadian tires, where we got a glance for the #1 application in the Canadian App Store and Play Market, which is a huge success based on the user reviews. Our application, 2 weeks, we've gracefully rolled out the new version without any single issues out there. So okay, let's go forward about the Jumpstart solution. So what is it in a nutshell? So every single solution, right, every single one should have authentication, right, should have billing, should have databases, should have mailing, should have authorization, should have magic links, should have analytics and monitoring, should have documentation part, should have onboarding stuff, and ideally it needs to be SaaS, right? And every single one needs to be built. And quite often the startups start to build it from the ground up, or they focus only on the platform functionality. Like, I develop features. I make a very simple user and password login, and then the magic begins, right? And it's very hard afterwards to it's not very hard, it's possible, but harder than usual to jump from the product functionality to full-scale system, which able to onboard clients, right? And we came up with this solution that can be deployed like next week for you, which you as veteran, my friend, during the Christmas time last year, used as a starting point to get his 250K as a pre-seed, right? So it is a solution. He came up not only with his presentation and himself, he came up with the solution that was working, that can be presented to clients, that was utilized on our customer interviews. We presented the solutions we're trying to develop, and basically it worked out. It really worked out. He got the funding. He now an entrepreneur. He fixed his debt issues that he had. He closed all his debt on the credit cards, and right now on the best, very, very successful future, which I'm so super happy about him, that he's fully deserved. And the Jumpstart solution can be deployed right next week. Really, it is. It's true. So we need a couple of days to figure out the wordings, to figure out what needs to be presented on the landing pages, what are the type of wordings we need for the Q&A part. You need to, I don't know, bootstrap your privacy and user agreements and stuff like that. And that's it. That's really it. Probably the biggest bottleneck is the Google authorization, which can take about a couple weeks, because they really try to figure out that all your user agreements, the privacy policy out there, it's good looking, it's fine. Until then, they they deny you from getting the social logins. So did I mention the social logins? Yeah. So we have NFA, we have social logins, we have everything you need for the enterprise clients to jump in. We have SSO, which anyone needs, right? Everyone wants to take a look at login with their Microsoft account, with the Google account. Somebody prefer just plain email and password, and everything out there. We calculated that we're saved really about 200K of money if you are developing that from scratch in your enterprise solution. When you have already a solution out there, it's even more, because you need to build infrastructure around it, and this infrastructure around it blocks you from getting the money from the day one. And to get the money from the day one, what you need billing, right? This Jumpstart solution comes up with the billing. You can start from the day one. You can onboard the users. You can implement a simple couple of features. You can think only about the features, because the solution out there is good looking, it's great, it works, and basically you need to just get the user in, present a couple of features that will be helpful for them, and implement them quite fast, and that's it. You got the billing, you got the money in, you got the traction. You immediately start to get an ERR, which is super important for the companies which are going for the next funding round. If you immediately try to show the ERR from the day one, you get in there. Okay. Each SaaS product is unique in its set of subscription and various mechanics. How can your solution cover the needs for all of them? Really? The mechanics of the billing is the same. The mechanics of authentication is the same, right? The mechanics of, let's jump to it, mechanics of monitoring are there. So it depends on the functionality. You still need documentation, you still need block, you still need landing pages. The application, it's a very good question. Thank you for that. The application basically sorted out. It is there. And if you are not too deep into the application development as of now, until you at the phase, which is very hard to jump to something else, right? Which if you invested a lot of money in there, in your current application. So it really sometimes makes sense to think about if you're able to jump into the application, or if you're on early stages, it's very great thing to start from it. It is functionality agnostic. It doesn't cover your business logic. The reason why it's there to not reinvent the wheel, it's to take your application, right, and think about the features, think about your business logic. And it is not there, right? It's not there. It is only a skeleton that gives everything that all startups needs without your business logic. So your business logic is the core that will be required to be developed, right? Thank you for a great question. So once you're there, right? Once you're there, once you get the traction, you get your funding. So what you need to do, you need to ramp up, or you don't. It depends, again, on your business. So sometimes you need to ramp up, sometimes you don't need to ramp up. Depends on your runway, how you set it up, what is your business logic, what is your team composition, what is your market objectives. But to do that, you need to hire strategically. You need to understand what are the type of developers and skill set and tech stack you are aiming to pursue. And it is super important on early stages to understand where your bottlenecks might be up front. It's great if your team is cross domain, so if your team, any member of your team can work on any problem, which is also possible with this solution. Depends again on your business logic, on your goals and perspective, but it is still possible. And hire strategically is the thing that that help you really move forward with it. Also, you need to build a strong onboarding process. If you are hiring developers right now, you need to make sure that they're staying with you, because the loss of a developer in the long run can have a very big impact if it's not yet visible from the start. So it depends on the skill set, depends on the interview process. If you hiring engineers which able to do pretty much everything, which is sometimes very popular. I want to hire a developer who is at the same time a business analyst and then DevOps. And the problem here is that people often cannot be good at everything. Um, in our company, we try to focus on the roles, skill sets, and engineers that are experts in what they do. Every single developer can write the code. And the problem is that after every single developer, another developer, unfortunately, can struggle with that. So make sure that your onboarding and interview process are there, and you are know who are you hiring, and what are the technologies and tech stacks you are working with. So, and make sure that you leverage AI automation for the interview process, because the people who are right now there on the market sometimes utilize AI automation for their benefits to get passed through the interview process. And it is the case, unfortunately. All right. So we spoke about the startup. Let's say a couple words about the enterprise platform, the big one. It was a story last year when we tried to help the enterprise that got into the real whirlwind of issues. Unfortunately, it couldn't maintain the stability of application. The platform availability was around 70% when we joined. 70%, imagine that. So every single Friday and Thursday, the application is down completely. Like it's it's not even a case for the production. You cannot release application like that, right? If 2 days in a week it is down, all your users will go in no time. It's quite a huge application. It's a huge platform. It code base was about 500,000 lines of code, and on the day one when we joined, it got the 1,000 defects per month. So the engineering team that was working on the project was about 50 engineers, and the situation was very desperate. So the founder was in despair. He failed. He made a lot of failures in his development initiative. He tried to micromanage the whole team with the best experience he had. Unfortunately, it didn't help. He dramatically scaled from the startup setup to the enterprise setup, and he had only experience in startup setup, which didn't work on the scale, unfortunately. What we did, we came up with the 1-year roadmap, how to fix it. To be honest, I had to engage 4 solution architect to come up with the assessment, what are the recovery roadmap, and if it ever possible to recover the situation the platform went into. And 3 out of 4 said that it's probably easier to just rebuild it from the ground up. They said that the situation with the code base, with the application architecture, with the team morale, with the team setup, with the team composition is so bad that really it's better to just shut it down, get the functionality that are there, and start over, start from the day one. And I found one solution architect that told me that, yeah, it's possible. It's very hard. We will have to shut down the application for a period of time. Like we'll need to do 2 shutdowns, 2 complete shutdowns from the users, and make sure that we will be able to fit the technical debt backlog within the periods. And we did it twice. We did it on the Christmas holidays, and we did it in the summertime. With the enormous effort from doing the good staffing decision, doing good governance decision, analyzing the tech roadmap situation, and the architecture target to state, we've really decreased the defects ratio 10 times, really 10 times. And at the production state, within a year, we got about 50 or 40 defects, which is inevitable. So the platform like that should have defects. Unfortunately, to get to the 0 defects, it doesn't often worth it. So it is theoretically possible. I achieved that in the Canadian tires, like 0 defects on the releases. But it costs a lot, and sometimes it depends if it makes sense to invest in zero defect setup whenever it makes sense for your product and setup. Okay, let's go forward. So silver bullets that you should utilize from the day one or from the situation you are right now in. Need to make sure that you do have very good solution architect. The problem there with this previous enterprise was that when we joined, they had a solution architect. But unfortunately, the solution architect was not a solution architect. He didn't know what to do. He didn't have the required skill set. He didn't have a go-to state. He couldn't propose any single competitive technical solution, really technical solution. What needs to be done with the code base? What is the microservice architecture split? What are the components split? What needs to be done physically with the code base to make sure that it will work within a year, right? He couldn't. And that's a problem, right? So you need to focus on the security. Security right now is very important. So depends on your business. So really depends. But if you will face the security breaches, security incidents, you need to have a response plan. You need to have at least, if you are not certified as ISO 27001, which will help to get for our clients, you still need to comply if you're working in the B2B area, right? Because if you are not ISO 27001 certified, and you want to work with the B2B client, they will send you the list of activities that you need to be compliant with and make sure that you address every single of them. Despite you are certified or not certified, we can help you make sure that you are compliant. And if you're not certified yet, at the least, you can state that you are ISO 27001 compliant company, and you are able to deliver the high quality incident response, security response, and guarantee that at least as you are to your clients. DevOps practices and engineering practices. What is it about? Right now, with our very changing world, so things are changing almost every single day. You need to be able to scale up fast. You need to scale up your infrastructure fast. You need to migrate your solution fast. I'll give you an example. So the AI startup that I was talking about before, from zero to hero, so they are deployed in their platform, deployed in Belgium. And in Belgium, they cannot get the latest OpenAI model because it is not yet there. It is in Frankfurt. And to do that, you need to scale down, you need to shut down your application and roll it out in Frankfurt. Tomorrow, the next AI, OpenAI model can be available, I don't know, in Austria or whatever region. It's there for Azure. Azure on his own decide where it needs to be done. And we are able, with the infrastructure as a code, to gracefully shut down the application, spin it up there. You might think that you need to spin up, or your client request asks you to spin up your application in on their premise, which is also possible. You get their tenant, you spin it up on the client infrastructure, on the client premise, on their platform. It is available for them, and it doesn't take you ages to do that. You are able to do that within a day. Simple as that. And it gives you competitive edge in the modern world. What is required? Extremely required. Engineering practices, like what I said before. So you need to hire strategically. You need to have a very good interview process. You need to make sure that all the developers that are there within your team are follow them, because they are not with you for the rest of your days, right? Depends actually. If you're a very charismatic person and you build a very good culture and you do not have a difficult times, because difficult times is a trial, as a team, right? And developers need to be replaced sometimes, right? And sometimes you have key developers. And if your key developers doesn't follow the engineering practices, it's sometimes very hard to replace them. The best example is Japan. I like this example so much because the back in the days, I don't know how long it stayed there. They had a practice that developers are being paid for the lines of code, which is called kilo steps, right? And developers did their job the best they can. They created so much garbage code, and they've been paid for that nobody, literally nobody, can get this code maintained except them. So they got their position in their company for the rest of their days, because instead of them, nobody can physically get you into the I don't know, solution or feature developed for this product except them. Just literally nobody. And it falls into the Japanese mentality, right? So people are afraid to lose their job. They take it really seriously. They want to be employed up to the, I don't know, for 20 years, for 30 years, for 50 years. And they're quite successful out there. But unfortunately, those applications are fail competitive in competitive landscape, right? When you need to scale up dramatically, when you need to be flexible, when you need to release solutions fast, right? So those are silver bullets that helps solutions be competitive. I think we can go to the Q&A. So my moderators will pick up the best question in the chat, because I'm not actively following the chat. So the question that been sent before the webinars have been added to the presentation. So we will jump in to the questions, to the best picked questions from the chat, and afterwards we'll go to the Q&A. Okay, so let me take a look. Let me take a look at the questions. All right. Mm-hmm. Oh, it actually my next question. All right. All right. So what's the question is pretty much similar. So what is the realistic MVP scope for a SaaS platform in 2025? It's a great question, and what I can say from my experience with the project that we kicked off back in the Christmas with the US veteran, you need to start slow. You need to start with the couple features, test it out, not overcomplicate your solution. And that is where our Jumpstart solution comes in place. Because if you want to do something quick and dirty, really fast, at the least, around that, you have a solution that works well in the SaaS setup. Your users immediately have their own tenants, which give them isolation, right? Which gives them login possibility, gives them billing possibility, gives them authentication and user management possibility. So only things you need to focus on are your core features, right? And yeah, no Jumpstart solution can come up ready with your core features. It would be impossible. It would be absolutely stupid. And thanks, John, for your question. So it's truly impossible to come up with a solution that works for every single startup. As a skeleton, it works because yeah, you still have users that still need to log into the application. The billing works like a charm for every single startup. So I would say that a couple of features, and make sure that you have a very good client interviews, validating that those features are really things that client need. And immediately, once you've got those features into the production, bring them in. So bring your friends and family, bring your trial clients, test clients, any contributors you can get into to make sure and validate that those features are at the good direction. If it's not, throw it out, start again. At least you didn't invest a ton of money in the skeleton setup. Okay, let's go next. Is AI impacting hiring process? Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does heavily, and we are starting to face a situation when our candidates that are getting into our interviews are receiving the questions automatically. They are connected to the Gemini, and Gemini get the question from the interview platform, right? From the Google Meet or from the Zoom, and immediately it starts to answer them. And it distinguishes the voice of the candidate and the other voices, and it immediately answers them. So he doesn't even need to type the question. It immediately gets into the Gemini, and Gemini comes up with an answer, right? And it is already on his screen, and it's very hard to figure out what is the answer. It is candidate experience or candidate really cheating. Right now, it's really very hard to do. Also, the stupid things that I've seen, the candidates are trying to utilize the AI features like eye contact. Let me demonstrate to you. It looks really weird, but it really cool stuff that that you can easily use, and anyone can do that because it came, I don't know, about a year ago or even more, and it is part of the NVIDIA setup. You need to download NVIDIA Broadcast, and you immediately can get the features. So eye contact, how it looks like. For that, you need to take off your glasses, because in the glasses it looks super weird. Let me turn it on. You noticed how my eyes changed? Now I look only to the camera. Despite where I'm looking, like I'm looking down into my keyboard, into another screen, this doesn't matter. Right now I'm looking to the camera, all the way into the camera, and people use it. In the glasses, if you are not paying enough attention, so it looks weird. You see that eyes are in different shape. If you put off the glasses, it's easier for AI to do the eye contact, and sometimes it's really hard to understand if the person is cheating or not. It's cool stuff, right? I will turn on my own eyes. I like my eyes better than the eye contact feature. Might be it will be better in the next releases, but I didn't want to try it out. Okay, let's go next question. When should startups begin monetizing their AI SaaS? So, thank you, Svetlana. Um, so as soon as possible. So you need to show tractions to your investors. You need to show tractions to venture capitalists. You need to show tractions to the VA companies and so forth. So on. The sooner the better. For the next funding round, you need to be there. At the least, if your application have an ARR, doesn't matter which one, it immediately brings you forward against the other startups who release their functionality after you, right? Who build their billing model and billing system after you. So next week, you can have an application with the SaaS functionality with the billing already there. You can immediately bring in clients that will pay. But it is a bit overextend to say that. So you still need to feature for the clients to pay you for something, but depends on your functionality. It can be sometimes very fast to implement, and you bringing up clients. You have billing. They are able to log in. They are able to touch the application. They are able to put the subscription in, and immediately you got an ARR, which is outstanding move. You say that with your startup, with your solution, you start receiving money on the next month. Imagine that. That would bring you really way forward against your competitors, right? Cool stuff. Let's go next. What's the bottlenecks that impact scalability of product? I mentioned couple of bottlenecks previously in the use cases and the stories I've told. So engineering practices, right? DevOps practices impact the scalability at the highest, I must say. If you're not following the infrastructure as a code, if you're not following the CI/CD process, it's very hard for you to scale your application vertically or horizontally, right? Because if it's manually been done, manually been deployed, manually been configured, manually been fixed, only God and your key developer know how it works. God bless you if your key developer is still with you, because if he will leave, it will be very hard times, right? So you need to make sure that you understand what's going on, what's technically going on with your application. If you have no clue, so it's a very good idea to seek for help, to ask for help, to raise a hand, and to reach out to people who does understand that, who can identify those things, those issues, and tell you about them beforehand, right? Okay. How can I marry engineering team's performance and client request backlog? Well, it's a complicated question. Depends. Really depends. What are the client request backlog? What is the engineering team's capacity? What are their tech stack? What are their struggles? Right. So, what is the domain? So, what is your governance out there? How do you get the client feedback? How do you structure your backlog pipeline? How team investigate, estimate, and approach it? What's your solution architecture? So what are the building blocks of your product? Are they designed well for your application to scale in any direction, right? How hard it is to implement the feature? Because I like to say that every line of code is a liability. Once you develop something, it stays in your code base. It stays out there until you do something with it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, right? The best example is Japanese folks. They've been paid for the lines of code. Now nobody, literally nobody can do something except them. And the bottleneck there is that your client feature backlog is locked on your key developer. You reach out to a key developer and say, when will you able to develop this or that functionality? And he will tell you in a month, in a 2 months, in a 5 months, in a year. and you can take it as granted. So you cannot do anything with that. He is the only one who can maintain your code base, and he is the only one who will tell you when the feature will be there. You're fully blocked. You don't have any options, right? That's it. Dead end. Simple as that. It's great when you have 4 solution architects to review your solution, and if any one of them come up with a plan how to fix that, wow, God bless. God bless the enterprise project that have been there in back in the days that I've told about. Okay, how do you validate market demand before investing in the development? Good example. I've started with it, right? So the client interviews. You need to define your target audience. You need to reach out to this target audience. You need to fully book your calendar for the upcoming months or 2 months, depends on the product, and make sure this really month is valuable. It really works out, right? You talk with the target audience, you understand what are the pains, understand what are the low-hanging fruit, what are the high-hanging fruit. You talk with the engineering teams, you have your engineering teams to talk to, and validate what will be the plan, what will be the backlog, how it will be implemented, where are we going, where we want to be, and how we can achieve that, right? Cool. How AI can solve my business objectives? Well, good question. As I told before, AI is sometimes not a magic wand, garbage in, garbage out. And sometimes clients come in with the garbage data, and garbage data is a problem. And sometimes you need to process data, you need to clean the data, you need to maintain it, you need to update it, you need to structure it in the way that at the least human can barely understand it. So AI have much more capabilities to understand garbage data, but if it is a complete garbage, then it's a problem. Then there will be the level of accuracy much lower than you would probably expect. On your domain, it depends. Really depends. I've spent 2 decades in non-AI businesses, and I know where AI can be implemented, where non-AI solution needs to be implemented, and sometimes it's works just like that, right? If you want 100% accuracy, that's not an AI probably. AI still has a probability, it still has hallucinations, it still has problems, it has false positive results, and depends, really depends. Okay, cool. So guys, I've reserved 5 slots on the interviews with you for the first 5 consultations that you will book on this link. I'll make sure to clean up my calendar for those meetings and attend them personally. So the next 5 consultations will fall on my DM shoulders, and the rest will go to the sales unit. So my first availability, really decent one, will start on the next quarter, because I have fully booked calendar of events, of places where I needs to be, and unfortunately my time is quite limited. So I encourage you, I really highly encourage you to follow the link, get a consultation done. You will have a button at the end of the webinar that you can click, book your consultation as of now, and with you we will try collectively to find a way to save at least 1,000 hours on the development efforts that you inevitably would spend, and save your budget, invest it in the features, because features are the things that drive you forward. But you still need to have a good ecosystem around you, and this ecosystem comes with our Jumpstart solution, which helps you be competitive and focus on the features, focus on the functionality that moves you forward, that brings you client, brings you money, and you spend as least as possible time on the ecosystem around it. Cool stuff. Thank you everyone for being with me today. I grateful for your time. I hope it was useful. If you still have questions, please don't hesitate to post in the chat. We will try to answer them afterwards. You will receive the webinar recording, and I look forward to see you again on our next webinars, on the consultations, and hope your startups will be only successful, profitable, and will drive the innovation forward. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a good time. Good luck. Bye bye.